that link should work there.
Okay, we are on the air.
For broadcasting,
So we Houston, the room.
nobody.
Yeah. One live.
Probably me. It should be me.
If
Tracy's on. Hi, Tracy.
Tracy's on. Let me see about this. So if anybody's out there watching this at this moment, we just opened up the room. We're a few minutes early. So we're just going to try and get some of the bugs out. And in a couple of minutes, I'm going to put on a real treat for you to have your coffee with. We'll grab coffee, but that's in a couple of minutes. So what do you think so far?
Just texted Tracy.
Looks like Tracy, Brian, Karen, and Trisha.
4 on. Nice.
Welcome. Thanks for being here. Anyway, I guess I could start that right about now. Anyway, we're going to start this. I'm just going to put a treat on for you, just to lighten things up a little bit. I love this. A couple of minutes.
So this is what they want. That's not bad. That's a better image than my face.
Cool.
So I need this to go away.
Looks like Tracy, Brian.
Oh, this is behind it.
Yeah,
4 on.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm going to put the video on. See you in a few minutes. Okay, I guess we're live. Hopefully we've got all the bugs out of this, but is it 10 o'clock yet? Just, let's see who else is in the room. Well, we've got half of the people here, so let's just give it another 30 seconds or so. Maybe we'll get a couple more in before we get started.
Okay, good morning. So I'm just gonna let everybody know that we've got what do we figure about a minute and a half, 2 minute delay?
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a delay from what we're doing here live to what you see, according to this. That's just the way it is. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Anyway, we'll get underway here. My name is Harry Fast. I'm a retired fire captain, and welcome to my first in a series of home fire safety webinars. Today's webinar is entitled "For the Busy Parent, Learn How to Protect Your Family in 15 Minutes." Originally, it was for the busy mom, but I thought I was leaving out half of the audience. So, and the reason I wanted to do this for the busy moms is this is the morning broadcast, so we'll do something else down the road. But anyway, with me today is my friend, Assistant Chief Eric Vogel. And thanks for being here with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
This is awesome. Eric and I share a passion for home fire safety and for supporting burn survivors. So I'm just going to ask Eric to maybe tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Been a firefighter for almost 30 years. Been involved with the Burn Fund for over 23 years through our burn camp for burn injured children. And I've been on the board of directors for almost 5 years now. So very passionate about the Burn Fund, about preventing these burns and injuries, and hopefully we can do that today.
Cool, Eric. Let's get some glitches out here. Anyway, once again, it's great having you here, Eric. Before I tell my story, I just want to let everybody know that everybody's time is valuable. So we'll be moving through this material fairly quickly, and at the end, so that everybody can get on with their day and take advantage of the benefits of what we have to offer you. And we're only asking for 15 minutes of your time. So if you have any questions or if there's something that you're going to we go over too quickly, you can send messages at the bottom. Eric, can you sort of mention how that works?
Yeah, you guys should be on chat. Please log in when we're not logged in. Just throw a hello on there when we're there. If there's something we're doing wrong or you can help us with, go ahead. I'll try to catch it on the screen. And if you've got a question, we're going to do a Q&A at the end. I'll make a note of it here and we'll come back to it just in case I leave it on the screen.
Yeah. And if hopefully we don't have time to answer all the questions. If there are extra questions, I will personally answer them by email. So anyway, my story goes like this. I retired from the fire service a few years back, and I retired as a fire captain. And what started me doing all this, back in 2007, my uncle died in a fire that destroyed his home. And I was devastated to learn from the firefighters that he was found lying inside the door just inches away from safety. And I still have those images in my head today. And I often wonder, perhaps if I'd been more proactive, he might not have had to experience those horrific and terrifying moments, the last moments of his life. So I began to wonder if he had thought about home fire safety in any way. Could the fire have been prevented? Did he have adequate protection? And did he have an escape plan of any kind? And I will have to say that the fire was preventable. It started in his bedroom. He had some clothing that was too close to the space heater, and he didn't have a smoke alarm inside of his bedroom, which would have alerted him sooner if in fact the smoke alarm in the hallway did actually go off. We can't be certain because it was melted beyond nobody could tell. And as far as escaping the fire, he actually ran past the back door and took another 10 steps and dropped in front of the front door. So from that, I was driven to write my book, Your First Defense for Home Fire Safety. It took me a couple of years to play with that, but and the reason I did that was I was determined to share it with family and friends and anybody else who would embrace home fire safety. So
It's going to explain why everybody needs a home fire safety plan.
yes, yeah. And at the end of today, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. From the book, I devised my home fire safety system that is based on prevention, protection, planning, and practice. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. And by the way, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to give away a free PDF download of my bedroom fire drill and my kitchen safety checklist that you can share with your family today. So, and as well, we're going to send you a link to all the videos that I've created about home fire safety, and as well, I had testimonials from firefighters and burn survivors telling their story. They're quite interesting videos, and it just it's
Similar to the link that Aaron on your
yes,
on your homepage there.
Aaron, wonderful kid.
Amazing story.
It is an amazing story. Well worth watching. So anyway, imagine it's 3 a.m. and you wake up to the sound of the smoke alarm, and you realize that your husband or wife is working night shift, and you remember that Granny is still sleeping in the guest room and she's deaf. Your 3 children should be across the hallway in their rooms at 3 a.m. Are their doors closed? Where is the dog? Is the cat inside? Does everyone have a plan how they can escape? Do they know what to do? And bottom line is, the bigger question is, do you know what to do? That'd be a tough one to wake up to. So the only way you can prepare for that one is to have a plan in place. So most fire deaths are in the homes. Most families don't have a home fire safety plan, and most fires are preventable. If you don't have a home fire safety plan, you and your family are not safe. So, and here it is. The newest version is available from my website. Just give me a moment here, and I will bring it up. Perhaps Eric's kind of monitoring things here, so if you could give me some feedback as to how this looks. We're hoping that, did I press?
So this is
Hey,
we have a 2-minute delay, right? So it's going to come up on your screen. I had it there for a second.
Didn't press the share screen. Let's try it again. There we go. Terminology. Is that in there? It doesn't appear. Oh, that's
2 minutes
digital.
behind us. So that's the time delay screen.
Okay.
That was throwing me off too. There we go.
So anyway,
this is what should be up.
yeah. So this is what I'm offering. This is also the title page, and it's in a format. Once you download it, it's available through. You can upload, or sorry, you can open it up with Acrobat, Adobe Acrobat, and you can actually fill it out online. For instance, I've already pre-done some of this, but I put them in there. And I'll take you to the second page, which is the instructions here. So here it tells you, as soon as you download this, if you don't have the Acrobat reader, you can download it now and open this up. But also, what I recommend is you would actually print this off, because you need a working copy to walk around the house, and also share with your family. So along with the information here, basically all you need to do is follow the safety action plan, which is up next. And once you complete the action plan, you share it with your family and review it twice a year. We'll go through that again. And typically what I suggest is when you change your clocks from daylight savings to standard time, that's when you change your batteries. That's your reminder to review your action plan. So let's move along here.
So Jennifer just said the picture is not great. The sound is good, but the picture's not great. So I said it's probably a good thing.
A couple old guys trying to do this technical stuff. So anyway, here we are at the action plan. The very top of it, like I say, I already pre-filled some of this out, and you can see it's all about prevention, protection, planning, and practice. I'll back it up here. So the first thing you do is, like I say, if you print it off, you can check this off on your hard copy, or you can come back once you filled out your hard copy. You can come up and save this to your computer. So right now we haven't done anything. So let's the first thing to do is to complete your home fire safety report, which is the next page. And in this, there's 10 categories, and you just go through the whole thing. There's about 60 questions all together. We're not going to go through everything, but I'll just give you a couple of examples here. Are your house numbers visible from the street? Eric, you have something to say about that.
Huge pet peeve of mine, and as you know, it's hard to find these addresses, especially at night. And even your neighbors, we're looking for your neighbor's house to give us an idea how close we're getting to yours. But I don't know how many times I've driven by a house where the person's looking out the window, wondering why we're not stopping. We're looking for the address. So
yeah,
really important for your address.
I totally agree with that. That was my experience too. So what you're going to do is just go through the whole list, and you know, obviously, if you walk outside and you have a look and your numbers aren't visible, perhaps it's because there's some a plant that's blocking it or something. Anyway, so in my case, I just put this as an example, prune plant. Later on, when you rectify it, and I'll go over that again later, but you can just check that off there and delete that because you corrected it. So there's all sorts of things here to go through, and they're all important. Electrical and gas safety, here's a classic one. Do all electrical outlets and switches have cover plates? Well, that's pretty obvious. You know, I don't know if you've ever been electrocuted, but in my past life, I was an electrician. I'm quite concerned about that. And you don't want little ones poking things in. Anyway, it's just all these safety
They're
issues.
all there for a reason.
Yes, yeah. So moving through that, garage and storage sheds, flammable liquids, attic spaces. If you have a wood burning fireplace, check these off. If you don't, it's not applicable, so don't worry about it. Candle safety. These are all just basic rules that you should live by. The outside area, just making sure there's no fire hazards around the house. And Eric, how many barbecue fires have you been to?
Too many.
Where it's been up against the house.
That's the dangerous part. Even the lid up against the house is too hot sometimes.
Minimum 3 feet in that case. Anyway, let's move forward. This is one of the bigger areas, and I actually have I produced a fire safety video about kitchen safety, but like I say, we'll give you the links for that at the end. Because this is where most of the fires do start in the home. And not only fires, but it's also where most of the accidents happen in the house. Here's my favorite one here. Is there a kid-free zone of 3 feet around the stove when grown-ups are cooking? And that's quite obvious. You don't want smaller children walking past. And Eric, you can attest to that through working with Burn Camp.
Oh, absolutely. How many injuries we get every year from kitchens, catching the cords and the pot handles. And, so many different ways for it. The Too Hot for Tots video, which is on the Burn Fund website, it's such a good resource to watch. Every babysitter should watch it if they're looking after your kids. Yeah. It's to try to prevent these burns to the little ones.
Yeah, that's also available through my website too. I have a link to that. Perfect. It's every parent should look at that, should watch that. So, and here we go to all the fire protection areas. You can go through all this. Now, these are important rules, and I am going to talk about this just for a moment here. Are there smoke alarms on every level of your home? Are there smoke alarms in every bedroom? Which is the new building codes insist on that. And I've been talking about that for years, but now the building codes actually insist on that. It's almost more important to have it inside your bedroom. Because most fires do start in the nighttime as well. And are any smoke alarms over 10 years old? They're only warranted for 10 years. After 10 years, get rid of them and get new ones. And on another note, they actually make smoke alarms now that have 10-year batteries in them. They'll actually chirp after 10 years to remind you to replace it. So it's a no-brainer. Spend the extra $3 or $4 and get something you don't have to worry about. Another important thing, does everyone know what the smoke alarm sounds like? Surprisingly, and I won't talk about this too long, but small kids, sometimes they hear this. It's been reported that they'll hear the smoke alarm, but they don't even know what it is, and then they're afraid, and they just, if they're in bed, they'll just put the covers over their head or climb underneath the bed, which is the wrong thing to do.
It doesn't mean anything to them if they've never heard it before. So.
And this is why you need to practice this with your family as well. Anyway, moving through.
Can I jump in about this, about the smoke detector?
You bet you can.
You have no idea how many people die each year because they don't have that working smoke alarm in their home. And it's unfathomable. We get it that you've removed the batteries, maybe because of a kitchen cooking incident, but you've got to get it back in there again. And if it keeps going off, you've got to move it to a better location. And something that I've never heard going to a house fire is a smoke detector when we enter the house. And it's usually a pretty good reason. Right. It's time delayed, so just as you change screens, it pops up. So my monitor is throwing off Harry here because it's showing what you guys are watching, and we're 2 minutes ahead of you. So try to keep up, everybody.
Please let us know if this isn't coming through.
Yeah, I've asked about looking back, so I'm not sure why that screen keeps popping up.
Anyway, and then the last part of the report is home fire's escape plan, which basically is asking you these questions, but you're going to address this later on. So right now you can say no to everything if you don't have your plan made. So anyway, so once you complete that, let's. I'm trying not to make you dizzy, so I'm backing up to.
So it appears that whenever you change pages, they get that black screen, and then it goes to the page you click to. So. Cool.
Okay. Then you won't get dizzy. So right now we've conducted the report. Now the next thing to do, we haven't completed it, but we've conducted the report. So now review the home fire safety report at least twice a year. So your job right now would be to go put that on your calendar whenever the time changes, or April and November.
Twice a year is good.
Put on your calendar now and then check that out. It's just a reminder to do this. So now, if you have any deficiencies, which you probably do, don't check this off, but you can come back to that later. And we'll just move down here just a little bit. So you have something.
No, I'm just saying Scott had a good point here. Photoelectric smoke alarms are less sensitive to cooking smoke.
They are perfect for
more
the kitchen.
sensitive to smoldering fires. I bet we got one over our shoulder.
I have one right there.
Thanks, Scott.
For that reason.
I figured Harry would have one of those.
I'm smarter than I look. No, that is the difference. They're a little more.
And we do medical calls, and you invariably end up in the kitchen, and we always check if you come in. And how many times I've looked up and seen the cover hanging down and no battery in there, and they say, "Oh, it goes off all the time." I got tired of it. So
yeah,
so that's a good point, Scott.
Worst thing you could do, because most fires start in the kitchen, and that's probably the most important smoke alarm in your home. So that is a great point. I'm sorry, who was that?
That's Scott.
Scott. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, replace your ionization detector alarm in your kitchen with a photoelectric, and it should alleviate that problem. So anyway, this section here, we already did something with the smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, all this protection gear. We already went through that in the report, so you can basically check this off if you're good. So ensure that most smoke alarms are installed on each level. You've already answered these, or if you haven't, better. Extinguishers in the kitchen and laundry rooms. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have one in your garage. I have one by my barbecue. I have them in my cars as well. So, but that's just me. But everybody should do that, and service them once a year. We'll talk to you later on about a product that Eric and I both like. It's called Cold Fire, and it's a fire extinguisher that is biodegradable, non-toxic, and most of all, easy to use.
As soon as we get back on camera.
Yeah. So, supply escape ladders if you have anything above ground floor. And we'll show you one of those too. Write a note on that, Eric. I do have one here. So, there you go. We've covered that part. And now we're going to move down to planning. So review a home fire safety plan. Well, you don't have one yet. So let's just move below here. And what I'm going to show you is here's the escape plan. So like I say, I've already filled some of this out. I put my address in here. My lovely wife and myself reside here. We live in a rancher, and I just filled this out yesterday because this is fresh off the press. This is the newest version, and it just has a bunch of information that you might want to share with perhaps if the fire department did arrive at your home, you could actually hand off this whole package, and the attending officer would have a wonderful understanding of who's in the home and what kind of hazards there may be. Anyway, I'll just keep on moving through this. Out-of-town contact person, perhaps if there was some kind of earthquake or emergency disaster.
You don't want your out-of-town person to be actually out of town, because
Yes.
your long-distance lines are usually up and running before your local circuits are. So you should have an emergency out-of-town contact for that. And something that Harry and I were discussing about this plan, that we're used to seeing a plan like this for commercial buildings, residences. When we show up, they have plans like this in place. So if you handed something like this to a fire crew, they're going to be comfortable with it and know exactly what you've got, and it's very helpful to the crews.
Absolutely. And another thing too, I know some of the departments are proactive, asking the public to fill out this type of information to give them, so they can put it in their onboard computers on board the trucks, so that while they're en route to your home, they already have an idea of who's in the home, where they are in the home, and or any kind of hazards that might be around the home. So it's valuable information to the emergency services. So here below, I've stated that Emily and I are the only residents here. If we had more, we put them there. These are not our phone numbers. This sort of tells you how old I am, and I am no better than to fill that one in. And then we do have a guest room, so I just sort of mentioned that. Our other bedroom is an office, so we're not too worried about that, because nobody will be sleeping. Moving to the next part of it. These are important things. All your utilities, where are they? My shut off for the water to the house is actually, I can access it from my garage. The electricity to shut off the power in the house is in the guest bedroom, and the gas is on the east side of the house. So, hazards to be aware of. The only hazards I have are gasoline and paint and thinners and stuff, so I indicate where they are. Where are my smoke alarms? I have a lot of smoke alarms, I believe in, but smoke alarms save lives. Carbon monoxide alarms, we have one in our kitchen, in our hallway. Particularly if you have gas appliances, we have a gas stovetop. If you have gas appliances,
Most furnaces are natural gas now, so
yes,
that's your big issue for carbon monoxide.
yeah. I have it in the hallway in proximity to the furnace room, so you know, there's more than 2 places that you could put them in your home. That's once I have it. Fire extinguishers. Well, I mentioned that I have one in my kitchen, garage, barbecue, and cars.
So I'm going to jump in here. We've got a sidebar, and I don't know when we rebroadcast whether our conversation will come up. We've got Scott and Jennifer are adding to us as we go here. And Scott mentioned not putting that fire extinguisher right in your egress route as you're leaving. That's what the extinguisher is, so you can actually fight the fire without having to get closer to the fire to get it. So that's a good point.
Good point.
But the cold fire we like to have handy, and it's in my kitchen windowsill because it's apparently not as ugly as a fire extinguisher, according to Phoebe. And it's been sitting there all along, so it's handy. But if I had to fight the fire, I would be able to step back, get it from a better location, or
Exactly.
on the way out.
And in our case, we have them sitting right behind us for view.
Yeah.
when we'll come back to live picture. But my wife has a wonderful pantry about 4 steps away from where the cooktop is. So you want it available, but you wouldn't want it beside the stove because maybe you can't reach it because the fire is impinging. So anyway, things to think about. So now it's all about creating a site plan.
Sandra just asked about if she misunderstood me here. So when I was talking about having that plan printed off, if it's something that you had handy, I don't know where you keep it, it would be. But if you gave it to the fire crew that showed up at your house, that would assist them. But no, most fire departments aren't ready to have this entered into their
No,
system.
no. But there will be a day. there will be.
We're still trying to get commercial buildings in Burnaby, so don't get me going on that. But no, they wouldn't be able to handle that at this time, Sandra. But if you had that information handy in a folder or something and gave it to them, and you just give them a layout of your building.
Yeah, perhaps by the front door closet.
And that's where they are in a commercial building. We know where to look for them. It would be a perfect system if that was the case, but it's surprising how many additions on houses, and we only have the front view, and it's something that they're supposed to do is walk around the house to get a look at it. But if they had a floor plan, boy, it makes their life easier.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then you're not walking in
But no,
blind.
unfortunately, you can't preload it into the system.
Okay, well, moving along here. So the site plan, there's two plans, the site plan and the floor plan. Now, if you look at this, this is my attempt. Well, I should first say, and the idea is to have an awareness of what's around your house. So you want to do the perimeter of your yard, draw your house, including doors and windows, other buildings such as the garden shed, and put where the street is, where the family meeting place is, and the electrical, gas, and water shutoffs. So this is my first attempt of drawing with the computer program, and actually it's kind of cool what this has. And like I said, I'm a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to this, but if you go over here and press the comment, a bunch of tools will pop up here, and you can actually create a drawing and do all sorts of cool things. It's just I'm not proficient at that, but you don't have to be. Perhaps somebody younger in the family that is creating this will be all over this, but
We'll
I'll
show this
demonstrate
after.
to you. No, I'll demonstrate right now.
But I can't show that.
Yes, you can, because I'm going to take
You
this
can
out
go
of
live.
sharing, and we'll go live again just for a moment.
Okay.
I drop this out, right? We are live.
So if you're like us and you can't do it on the computer,
So, and it doesn't have to be perfect art, but in that case,
there's the site plan.
there's a site plan, and if you look really closely, I'll show it to you on an actual completed one that I did a couple of years ago on another program, but to show you the information that you would like to put on there. Let's get, oh, let us share first. Let's press stop broadcast. Share. Stand by. Okay, so here's a site plan that I actually did for a neighbor of mine a while ago. So if you look over here, here's the legend that I built on the Southern draw program, and these are the things that you want to identify. So I'm not going to go over this for too long because we want to move on. But so in his backyard, he has a workshop. And this is the style of home. It's a split level home. It shows all the entrances or accesses that the fire service could have. It shows where the missing, the electrical meter was right here actually, so I should have put that in. This is where the electrical panel in the house is. This is the gas shut off, and the hydrant happens to be right on the corner, which was right across the street from where I live. Anyway, that's that drawing, and the main floor. These are the things, basically the same idea, but these arrows are showing escape, and you want to show 2 ways out of every room. So this is what you're going to share with your family once you complete this. You're going to take them, and we'll talk about that under practice. You're going to take them through each room. So you'll go for a walk through your house, go into the dining room, and say, okay, if there was a fire in the kitchen, how would we get out of here? So you say, well, we're not going to go in the kitchen. We're going to go out this way, or out the dining room sliding door. Obvious choice there. If you were in the family room, which way are you going to go? Well, this is only 2 ways out here. So anyway, valuable information. This is what you want to walk everybody in your house through. So getting back to the system, we've completed all that. So I'm just going to back up here in a second.
These are good screenshots apparently, with the couldn't see the site plan I held up in the paper, so that's
Well,
understandable.
and then that's fine.
But you get the idea. You can draw out a site plan,
Yeah.
whatever yours looks like.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be just a sketch to work from. So like I say, so here we go. Hopefully, once this is completed, you're done. If there are any deficiencies from the report, fix them, and then you can check that off. We've gone through and reviewed the safety plan, so now you've completed your first one, so 6 months from now, you'll go through it again and just make sure it's up to date and accurate. We'll check that off. And now, one of the most important things to do is actually practice it. Review the report with your family, review the safety plan, the escape plan, which is next. And just so you don't get dizzy, I'm going to check this off right now and I'm going to show it to you. So you would review the escape plan, practice the fire drill, review the bedroom fire drill, ensure that everyone knows what the alarm sounds like, and go through a fire extinguisher guide. So I have that all at the bottom here. We're almost done. I'm just going to take you to the very end. Here's your home fire escape drill. So basically, just take your family and, like I say, walk them through, show them 2 escape routes from every room, alert everyone, and this is what you would go through. If you hear the alarm, tell everybody, alert everyone and get out, go to the designated family meeting place. Oh, I should have shown you that on the...
Most of the kids are familiar with that. McDonald's had a really good program. McDonald's restaurant about meeting place and drawing it out.
Yeah.
So the kids get that idea.
Yeah, exactly. But you need to have a designated spot, and maybe it's just out on the street. Well, maybe that's not a good idea. At the end of the driveway, or perhaps in the neighbor's driveway, or across the street, whatever you think is appropriate, but somewhere away from the house. But also, you don't want to be in the way if there were emergency services. Call 911 from a cell phone. Don't pull back in your house if it's on fire.
And that cell phone, don't forget, the fire department doesn't have your address. It doesn't come up automatically. So I kept my home phone until my kids were old enough that they understood that and that they can make a cell phone call and give a proper address.
Good point.
Because if you call from the house line, it automatically registers an address. And even if you're unable to stay on the line and you drop the line, at least they've got an address. They've got an incomplete 911 call. So cell phones, don't forget, you need to be able to give accurate information on how to get there. So important to know if you've got kids and you've only left them a cell phone.
Good point. Okay, so basically, that's oh, wait a second, I'm sorry. Just a quick review. This is something that you would, especially with all your kids, go through this whole thing. Know what the smoke alarm sounds like. Keep the bedroom doors closed while sleeping. That's a very, very safe practice to do. And in the event that the alarm goes, these are the things to do. If you hear the alarm, call the door, feel the door. If it's not hot, peek for smoke. If there's no smoke, alert everyone by calling out fire. Close the door behind you as you leave and go to the meeting place outside. If there is smoke, lock the bottom of the door with a blanket. Go to the window, open, and call for help.
And try to get your kids comfortable with that door being closed. It's so huge. We had a really bad fatal fire in Burnaby years ago. And the child that survived was the one with the closed bedroom door. And they found out that one of the little kids had gone to see their mom and then went back to the room but left the door open. So it's really important and keep those doors closed.
Yep.
Buys us a lot of time to be able to get there.
Fire happens in a hurry. And as an added bonus, with the package, I've just put in a bit of a checklist here, things to think about to prepare yourself in the event of a catastrophe of any kind. You should always have a 3-day supply of these things on hand to survive. And know your evacuation plan, which is your escape plan, and know how to shut off your utilities. So basically, that is the system. And also, I have a fire extinguisher guide. And now, basically, I said we were going to teach you all this in 15 minutes, and it looks like we've gone about 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're half an hour.
So that's pretty typical, isn't it?
Yeah, what have we got left to go live and maybe show them extinguisher?
Yes. And, well, we can just quickly point it out. But I would like to tell you where you can find this. But first of all, to the wire.
We've lost Jennifer, Tracy, and Scott. They've got a little sidebar going there with all kinds of safety tips.
Oh dear.
Okay. So we're back live again. This was the cold fire product that Harry was talking about. It's like a can of Pam spray. Everybody knows how to work that. This is something I got my folks, they're a little bit older, very comfortable using this. Harry and I did a live fire demonstration with them. I was very impressed. But this is your typical fire extinguisher. So If you're not comfortable with it, you really should take a class on it, or just go and maybe take an old one and fire it off and then get it recharged rather than just taking it in. And remember the pass, where you pull the pin, that's the pin. Aim it at the base of the fire, press that lever on top, and then sweep back and forth. That's a good size for your team.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But the cold fire does the same thing.
And it's not as intrusive as.
And all you have to do is crack the top. If you can spray Pam in a pan, you can put out a fire with cold fire.
Put this one in your point of egress away from the fire.
Anyway, bottom line is that that's the system, and we believe that everyone should have a home fire safety system. And we're trying to make this a positive thing. You'll sleep better knowing that your family is aware of what they would do if you alarm went at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, bottom line is I just want to say, I'm kind of following a script here. This is our first time doing something like this, but this is the offer. I get the satisfaction of getting the message out of home fire safety. I've been flogging this for a few years, and it's a tough one to sell. People don't want to deal with it, but the funny thing is, if you do deal with it, you'll be so much more comfortable with things. It's a positive thing to share with your family and make them safer. It's kind of like Ralph Nader when he first started making cars safer back in the early '60s, and he was one of the leading leaders in making sure that everybody wears seatbelts, which was a hard concept for some of us. I wasn't even an old guy then, but it was a hard concept to me as a young man saying, I don't want to wear a seatbelt, but now it's just automatic, and obviously we're safer for this.
And you need to make safety a habit.
So anyway, for every package that's sold, Eric, maybe you could talk about that.
50% is going to the Burn Fund, which is one of the reasons why I'm here. And the Burn Fund supports your burn survivors through many, many programs. The one dearest to my heart is our burn camp that I mentioned earlier. And it's just an amazing week away for these kids that suffered these injuries that we're trying to prevent here today, by providing fun and support for these kids. And it's pretty amazing. So it's why I've been involved all these years.
Yeah, Eric, it is remarkable. And I just actually visited the burn camp a couple of times and seen Eric in action. And it's really something to see what that means to those kids. On another note, one of the reasons I'm involved with the Burn Fund is my son was badly burned in a campfire incident. And, he spent some time on the burn ward at Vancouver General Hospital, and it was just amazing the care that he got and the technology that they have now that the Burn Fund supports quite a bit. What kind of dollars are we talking about? Or not dollars, but what kind of involvement does the Burn Fund have with the burning?
Oh, it was, we sponsored the unit years ago, and that's why it's BC Firefighters Unit. We put $1 million toward it, which a long time ago was a lot of money. But it's equipment that we're purchasing. We're sending nurses, specialty care nurses, away to training sessions to get them up to speed on the new procedures. And it's amazing how much it's changed in the 23 plus years I've been there to see the kids come, and you can barely see the scars now. The treatments have gotten so advanced, as opposed to the old gnarly, nasty scars that people had years ago. So it's pretty huge.
Yep, fortunately, my son was able to recover from his injuries, and it's just amazing. And without that burning, I don't think he would have recovered as well as he did. So the bottom line is, I'm going to show you this right now. What I'm offering you is a free copy of my PDF book, which is that's the cover right there, and a free copy of my not a free copy, but a copy of my home fire safety system, and also automatic membership in my home fire safety group on Facebook, which I will. You'll have personal access to me to answer any questions that you need to fill out your home fire safety plan. And I'm offering this for $9.95. And like I say, half of that's going to the Burn Fund, and the other half is helping me do what I'm doing. So that's basically what we're doing. So to do this, all you need to do is press on that button there. I'm not sure if this is going to take us away, but it should take us to another page.
I'm just looking at my other monitor here where your book was on display, and it was hiding the chat, so I just figured out that. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. So your first defense book on display there. You make that go in the chat to see that.
Okay.
all the safety messages going on inside there.
I guess what this did was take me to another page. But if you do it, you'll see that it takes you to my website and it takes you to the system package. And you just need to download that. And it might not happen immediately, but I will personally make sure that you get everything that I saved. Tell you about. My website is actually under construction right now. We're trying to get all the bugs out of it, but I guarantee that I will fulfill.
So they can go to the Burn Fund website while yours is under construction.
Sure, they can have a chat.
Burnfund.org.
Anyway, drop that out. But I guess that's pretty much
1040.
what I've got to say. We were going to open this up to. We're going to answer a few questions.
Sure.
If anybody.
So that would be, if you guys are on your chat line and you got some questions, nothing's come through yet. There's been some good discussion on there. I've been following it. If anyone's got a particular question, I know some other people are on here. Please jump in.
Also, I meant to tell you about how to get to my website, other than press and protect your family. Now there, to go to my store, that'll hit you in the site. But just go to www.captainfast.ca, and that'll get you to my site.
And Scott's put in your website here. That's in there, First Defense, Fire Safety.
Thank you, Scott. Much
It's on the
appreciated.
chat bar.
Wonderful. So, you got a couple questions there.
No. We just got some good points. We're preaching to the converted here, I think, today. So,
Yeah, correct.
okay, so maybe that's good because we went long on this one.
We have.
You got to come back at noon and fire your questions away then. We're going to do this again at 12 o'clock. I think.
Anyway, I just want to have a look at this. This is wonderful. Thank you all for
Yeah.
attending, and just remember that this might not be the most exciting thing you did all day, but it might be the most important thing you'll ever do for your family.
And you're going to be able to share this link on YouTube. Please do it on your social circles. And maybe we can get the message out there to a larger audience.
Great.
But thanks for joining us. We're glad we didn't become a YouTube sensation for the wrong reasons today.
Okay, thank you.
So long.